Hello and welcome back to another breaking news update. My name is Jimmy Boyd and you were watching Boyd News. I want to thank you so much for tuning in today. I've got some breaking news coming out here for you. I want to bring you an update regarding what's going on in Rafah, the southernmost city of the Gaza Strip. I reported a few days ago that the Israeli military had ordered evacuations from the eastern side of Rafah. They also took over a few crossings of the border of Gaza and Egypt to prevent Hamas from getting more supplies and weaponry that gets smuggled into the Gaza Strip. So we've got some more information that Israeli military had called for more evacuations in Rafah. Okay, and they also voted to expand their operation. The Israeli War Cabinet did, that is. And I found this yesterday, and I wanted to show this to you guys. It's on Axios. It says Israeli War Cabinet votes to expand Rafah operation area amid growing U.S. concerns. So, yeah, according to Axios here, the Israeli cabinet did vote to expand their Rafah operations. We know that the talks between Hamas and Israel right now are still not going well. There was a few days ago where Hamas said this was the last chance for any kind of ceasefire deal or try to negotiate. And this thing just keeps continuing to drag on, and there really is no end in sight when it comes to negotiations. But we know that at the end of the day, Israel's going to continue to operate throughout Rafah. I think it's just going to take them time to complete this operation, probably maybe a month or longer, because they got to get everybody to evacuate. We do know that hundreds of thousands of people have evacuated from the eastern side of Rafah, but they're starting to issue newer evacuations for people that are not even on the east side anymore. There's lots of video footage online of many areas of Gaza that have been, or Rafah, excuse me, that have been evacuated already, and it's just a ghost town already. So people are leaving, from what I understand. They're not all staying there, and that's a good thing. So that way, if Israel decides to start operating here, that we don't have tons and tons of innocent people who are killed. So the Biden administration has come out and said that Israel would not be able to evacuate the people of Rafah, but it looks like so far, for the most part, there's a good amount of people leaving. So I wanted to bring you that information. But let's talk about this here on the BBC. Israel orders more evacuations as Rafah fighting intensifies. This is just coming out today. It says here Israel has told tens of thousands more Palestinians to leave Rafah as it intensifies military operations in southern Gaza. Flyers dropped from the air and posts on social media told residents in the city's eastern districts to go to Al-Mawasi, a narrow coastal area which Israel calls an expanded humanitarian zone. Parts of Rafah where the streets were packed with locals and displaced people just days ago now look like a ghost town, and I was seeing that. We were finding some video footage online showing that many of the streets there are just empty. There's really nobody left. Israel has said it will proceed with planned operations in Rafah, despite the U.S. and other allies warning that a ground offensive could lead to a mass civilian casualties and humanitarian crisis. Images showed smoke rising over the city on Saturday, and witnesses quoted by AFP reported airstrikes near the crossing with Egypt. That's another big thing. There's been lots and lots of bombings happening still in Rafah, and I believe these are even in areas where there's still lots of innocent people there. There is people being killed right now, unfortunately. I was able to find some footage too, but unfortunately I can't show it here. It's just way too graphic. We can't show that on YouTube. Yeah, there's definitely lots of airstrikes happening. This whole Rafah operation is still ongoing at this time. Posting on X, formerly Twitter, the Israeli Defense Forces said that during the past day, troops had been engaged in face-to-face battles with Hamas fighters in Rafah. The IDF added that soldiers had found a number of underground shafts in the area. In the past day, there have been dozens of Israeli airstrikes across the length of the Gaza Strip, with the Israeli military saying it's targeting what it calls terrorists and terrorist infrastructure. It also instructed residents to leave some areas of northern Gaza, indicating its forces may return there months after they previously left. So real quick, I wanted to note as well, I also had some information too that we had something like 5 or 6 IDF military personnel who have been killed too. There was some sort of engagement happening in Rafah, and we had multiple Israeli military members that were killed in some attacks. So the IDF has taken some losses right now. The IDF said people in and around Jabalia in northern Gaza need to temporarily evacuate to shelters in western Gaza City in order to reduce harm to residents following attempts by Hamas to reassemble in the area. Originally displaced from Jabalia, one man told the BBC he had received a message on his mobile phone telling him to immediately evacuate Rafah. We don't know where to go. We are about 80 people, he told BBC's Arabics program Gaza Lifeline. I don't have money to go back to Khan Yunis. Some neighbors said to come and rent a place for very little rent, but I don't have money even to rent a car. That's something that I hear a lot too, that a lot of the people there, they don't even have money. Surprisingly, people are still able to buy stuff and utilize currency, things like that, use cash to purchase things, and there's still people selling stuff. And I've also heard a lot that Hamas would take the aid that comes in at times, and then they would sell it to the people there to try to use it to make money and probably buy weapons, things like that. But yeah, I've seen a lot about that the people there, they don't even know where to go. Yes, there's Al Mawasi that's set up on the coastline, but not everybody can go there, okay? There's not enough room for everybody there. There is some help for certain people, but for the most part, majority of these people don't have anywhere to go, and they can't go really north because a lot of the northern side has been destroyed. And we've also had reports too that there's full-blown famine going on as well. So I would think that Rafah is probably the most stable city for people to stay in. And then now at this time, they're being told to evacuate and get out. So I'm sure a lot of the people there don't even really know where to go. So finally, I want to show you guys a video of Benjamin Netanyahu. This was from a couple days ago that I haven't had a chance to show you, of him basically speaking that, regardless of whether anybody stands with them or helps them out in this war, they're going to continue fighting. He talks a little bit about the past history of Israel. And then he states there that they will even fight with their fingernails if they have to, because there's lots of talk about the U.S. may cut off supplies, weapon shipments to Israel to prevent this war from happening inside of Rafah. So let's take a look at this video real quick. It's about 40 seconds, and then we'll talk about it after.
אנחנו ערב יום העצמאות. במלחמת העצמאות, לפני 76 שנים, היינו מעטים מול רבים. לא היה לנו נשק, היה אמברגו נשק על ישראל. אבל בתעצומות הנפש והגבורה והאחדות בתוכנו, ניצחנו. היום אנחנו הרבה יותר חזקים. אנחנו יותר חזקים, אנחנו נחושים, ואנחנו מאוחדים כדי להביס את אויבינו, את מבקשי נפשנו. אם נצטרך לעמוד לבד, נעמוד לבד. אמרתי כבר שאם צריך נילחם בציפורניים, אבל יש לנו הרבה יותר מאשר ציפורניים. ובאותן תעצומות נפש, בעזרת השם, יחד ננצח. אנחנו ערב יום העצמאות.
Okay, so I just wanted you to see that, to see where Netanyahu stands. So again, he's still, pretty committed to this whole war in the Gaza Strip and destroying Hamas, taking over Rafah, and kicking Hamas out of there. So that's still his goal till this day. And I just wanted to get this information out there to you and share an update with what's going on in Rafah. There hasn't been much other information other than that. Right now, I think what the Israeli military is focused on is just getting these people out of there so that way they can operate, because there's also talks of Israeli military that they may be in breach of international law when it comes to these weapon shipments going to Israel. And if it proves that they are in breach of international law, then the U.S. could officially cut off supplies to Israel completely. And, I still think they'd be able to operate throughout Rafah, but then you got to understand they've got more problems too. They've also got Hezbollah to deal with. And if they don't have the supplies they need, then they're going to struggle to even fight that war against Hezbollah as well. They're using lots of artillery shells, lots of ammunition and missiles, airstrikes, everything, you name it. And if it wasn't for the U.S. supporting this, they wouldn't be able to do half of what they're doing right now. So yeah, that's going to be it for this update, though. Just wanted to share this information with you. If you got something out of this, please smash that like button. And also, if you enjoy my content, please consider subscribing down below. Hit the notification bell. That way YouTube can notify you. With that, I hope you all have a great day. Everybody take care and God bless. And we'll see you in the next one.